Good morning. We'll be studying now the third chapter, Be'ezrat Hashem, of Hilchot Tzitzit. And this chapter deals with who is obligated to wear tzitzit and the different garments that are obligated for one to put tzitzit on them. Halacha Aleph. Kesut shehayav adam la'asot bat tzitzit min haTorah, a garment that one is obligated to put tzitzit on it, that is obligated from the Torah, he kesut sheyesh lah arba kenafayim o yater al arba. It is a garment that has 4 or more corners. ותהיה מידתה כדי שיתכסה בה ראשו ורובו של הקטן המהלך לבדו בשוק, ואינו צריך אחר לשמרו וללך עמו. That the dimensions of the garment that is obligated for one to put tzitzit on it must be the size that a child can cover his head and the majority of his body, and the child should be the age that he can go to the market by himself and doesn't need anyone to go with him. And the only garment that is obligated min haTorah for tzitzit is a garment that is made of wool or linen, rather. Bet. Aval talit shel ishar minin, however, a garment of other types of fabric, כגון בגדי משי ובגדי צמר, ובגדי צמר גפן ובגדי צמר גמלים וצמר ארנבים ונוצה של העזים, וכיוצא בהן. However, garments made out of silk or cotton or the fur of camels or the fur of rabbits or goat hair and other types of fabric that people use to make garments. En ha'yavin b'mitzvat tzitzit ela midivrei chachamim. These garments one is only obligated from the chachamim, and it was only ordained to place tzitzit on garments other than wool or linen by the chachamim. In order for the Jewish people to be careful in observing the mitzvah tzitzit, and the garment must be similar to a garment of wool or linen, must have 4 or more corners, and it must be the size that we mentioned before.
Jacob, sorry to interrupt. I want to point out that probably the overwhelming majority of the tzitziot that people have today, tzitzit katan, are not hayav, just given the dimensions requirement. The dimensions requirement, again, are that the clothes be enough to cover the head and the majority of the body of a child that is old enough to go by himself on the street.
Definitely, yeah. And whatever that size might be, it probably isn't, to be honest, the size of the Tayit Katan. Thank you, Ham Yaakov. So, שכל בגדים האמורים בתורה סתם אינם אלא צמר ופשתים בלבד. And as whenever begadim or clothing is mentioned without specification in the Torah about the type of fabric that it is made, it is either referring to wool or either referring to linen and not any other fabric. Halacha Gimel. Al arba kanfot kesutecha. When the Torah mentions in Sefer Devarim the 4 corners of your garment, Chachamim make a couple of dirashot and it teaches us a few different things. Arba velo ba'alat shalosh. The garment needs 4 corners and not 3 corners to be obligated in tzitzit. Im ken arba velo ba'alat hamesh. If so, what about a garment that has more than 4 corners, like 5? We said that a garment of more than 4 corners is obligated in tzitzit. The end of that verse comes to teach us a garment that you shall wear, even if it has 5 or more corners. ולמה אני מחייב בעלת 5 ופוטר בעלת 3? ושתיהם אינן בעלי 4 כנפות. So Harambam is asking rhetorically, why is a garment of 5 obligated, but a garment of 3 is exempt, as neither of them have 4 corners, as the pasuk says. As 5 includes 4, so a garment that has 5 corners obviously has 4 corners, and therefore is obligated to tzitzit. לפיכך, כשהוא עושה ציצית לבעלת 5 או 6, אינו עושה אלא לארבע הכנפיים המרוחקות זו מזו, מאותן 5 או 6 בלבד, שנאמר על 4 כנפות כסותך. Therefore, when an individual is making a garment with tzitzit for a garment of 5 or 6 corners, he only puts the fringes on the 4 farthest corners away from each other, out of the 5 or 6 corners, however many corners that garment has. As the pasuk says, you shall put tzitzit on the 4 corners of your garment. הלכה ד' כסות של לבגד וכנפיה של לאור חייבת. A woven garment that has leather corners is obligated in tzitzit. היא של לאור וכנפיה של לבגד פטורה. If the garment itself was made out of leather and the corners were woven and made of some kind of material, it is exempt from tzitzit. שאין הולכין אלא אחר עיקר הכסות, as we only consider the main part of the garment in regard if it will require tzitzit or not. כסות של שני שותפין חייבת, a garment that is owned by 2 or more people is obligated in tzitzit. שנאמר על כנפי בגדיהם, as the pasuk says, that you shall have tzitzit on the corners of your plural garments. לא נאמר כסותך אלא למעט שאולה. The word כסותך is used in reference to tzitzit only to exclude a borrowed talit. שהטלית השאולה פטורה מן הציצית 30 יום. מכאן ואילך חייבת, as a borrowed garment is exempt from tzitzit for the first 30 days of ownership. More than 30 days and onwards, it is obligated in tzitzit. הלכה ה' כסות של צמר. For a wool garment, עושים לבן שלה חוטי צמר. We make the white the fringes of it out of wool. And the fringes for a linen garment, it is made from linen. Mimina, we make the fringes from the same type of material as the garment. ושאר בגדים עושים לבן שלכל מין ומין ממינו, כגון חוטי משי לכסות משי, וחוטי נוצה לכסות נוצה, and any other type of material. The fringes are made out of that type of material. For example, if there was a garment made out of silk, the fringes should be made from silk. And if there was a garment made out of goat hair, the fringes should be made out of goat hair. However, if an individual wanted to make the fringes of tzitzit the fringes of tzitzit from wool or linen for any other type of garment, he may do so. As wool or linen satisfy the requirement for a garment that is of its type and of its kind, and also satisfy the requirements for tzitzit for a garment that is not of its kind, meaning other than wool and linen. Beminan, potrin, shelo beminan, and potrin. However, other types of fringes, if they are made from its type, it is allowed. As you mentioned, silk fringes may be made for a silk garment. However, a non-silk garment, silk fringes rather, may not be put on a different type of garment. הלכה ו' ומה הוא עושה חוטי צמר בכסות של פשתן, או חוטי פשתן בכסות של הצמר? אף על פי שהוא לבן לבדו בלא תכלת. How may one make the fringes of a garment of wool or linen on a wool garment, despite the fact that the white is alone without the techelet? Badin hu sheyeh mutar. According to the law, it is allowed. Sha'atnez mutar le'inyan tzitzit, as the prohibition of mixing wool and linen is permitted for the purposes of tzitzit. She'areh ha'techelet tzemerhu, as the techelet is made out of a wool string. Matilin otah lefishtan, and we use it with linen. However, why is the practice not to do so? As one may make the threads of lavan, the fringes of lavan, from the same material as the garment itself. And any time that you find a place that you have a positive prescription and a negative prescription, if one can fulfill and do both, it should be done. However, if it's impossible to do both, the aseh, the positive prescription of tzitzit, will come to override the negative prescription of, for example, kilayim. However, here we can avoid the negative prescription of sha'atnez and still fulfill the prescription of tzitzit. And this is actually an important principle, that the aseh is dohe, the lo ta'aseh, the positive prescription overrides the negative prescription. And this is only said if both cannot be fulfilled. Halacha zayin, kesut shelefishtan, a linen garment, en metilin bat techelet. We do not put on it a woolen thread of techelet. Ela oseh halavan bilvad shelechute pishtan. Rather, we only put the white fringes alone, made out of linen. Lo mipeneh she'atzitzit nidhet mipeneh sha'atnez. Not because the tzitzit, or the positive prescription, is overridden by the negative prescription of sha'atnez. Ela gezerah midivrehem. Rather, it is a regulation that was instituted by the Chachamim. Shema yitkaseh bah balayla, that an individual may wear a garment of linen with the wool thread of techelet. She'eno zeman hiyuv hatzitzit, as night is not the time of an individual is obligated to wear tzitzit. V'nimtza over al lo ta'aseh be'et she'en sham mitzvat aseh. And this individual who is wearing the linen garment with the woolen thread of techelet is actually transgressing the obligation of kilayim, while there is no obligation of tzitzit to override that negative prohibition. Shechovat hatzitzit bayom v'lo balayla, as the obligation of tzitzit is only during the day, not at night. Shene'emar uritem oto, as the pasuk says, when you see them, bishat riyah, only at the time that one may see, that one has the ability to see, is one obligated in tzitzit, that being only during the daytime. Vesoma hayav batzitzit, and a blind person is obligated in tzitzit. Despite the fact that he himself does not see, rather others see him and see the tzitzit on his garment. Mutar le'adam lilbosh tzitzit balayla. It is permitted for one to wear tzitzit at night. Ben b'chol, ben b'shabbat, ve'af al pi she'eno zemanah, uvilvad shelo yivarech. One may wear tzitzit at night, both on a weekday or on Shabbat, despite the fact that it is not its proper time. However, he must be careful and may not make a beracha of tzitzit if he is wearing it at night. The issue with Shabbat is interesting, because one might say that you're carrying the strings and one is prohibited from carrying in a reshut harabim on Shabbat. However, the fringes on one's garment is not considered carrying, and it is permitted to wear them on Shabbat at night. From when may one say the beracha of tzitzit in the morning? From the time that one can tell the difference between the techelet and the white that is on the garment. And how does one say the beracha of tzitzit? Mevarech. But how may one say the beracha? Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu shadav b'sivanu yit'atef b'tzitzit. Blessed are you, God, who distinguished us with His mitzvot and instructed us to wrap ourselves with tzitzit. Just a quick note: there is a beracha that some people say called al mitzvat tzitzit for the talit katan. This does not appear anywhere in the literature of Harambam, does not appear anywhere in the literature of the Gemara, and one probably should refrain from saying this beracha. However, there are some poskim, I believe the Rema, who says that one should say this beracha on Atilat Katan. Just wanted to point out, does not appear in the literature of Harambam. Anytime an individual, before he puts on the garment of tzitzit, with the tzitzit, he makes the beracha before he wraps himself with the tzitzit. As all mitzvot, one must make the beracha before him doing the action of the mitzvah. This has a number of applications, from Nerot Shabbat to Tefillin to Netilat Yadayim, as we mentioned before. And one does not make the beracha of tzitzit during the time of the actual making of the tzitzit and dyeing of the techelet, as the mitzvah, the completion of the mitzvah, is only when one wraps himself in it, similar to tefillin. Halakha tet. One may enter the bathroom or bathhouse while wearing tzitzit. If the strings of white or techelet were severed, one may throw them in the garbage, as they don't have intrinsic sanctity to them, in contrast to tefillin or sefer Torah that they do. And it is prohibited to sell a garment with tzitzit to a goy unless he untied the fringes from them. Not because it has intrinsic kedusha in it, rather, ella, that the goy might wear the garment with the fringes, and a Jew may accompany him as he sees that he has fringes and might think of him as another Jew. And you might think of him as a Jew, as I mentioned. And the goy may come to kill the Jew. Halacha Yod. Nashim va'avadim uktanim peturin min hatzitzit min haTorah. Women, servants, and young children are exempt from tzitzit from the Torah. Midvrei Chachamim, however, the sages prescribe shekol katan hayodeh lit'atef hayav betzitzit kedei lechanecho b'mitzvot, that any child who knows how to put on a garment is obligated in tzitzit in order to educate him to do the mitzvot. V'nashim va'avadim sheratzu lit'atef b'tzitzit and women or servants that desire to put on tzitzit may do so, but may not make a beracha. And so too, this is an important principle as well. Any mitzvah that a woman wants to do, however, she is exempt from doing it. If she desired to do it, she may do it. If she wishes to do it without making a beracha, we do not object to her doing so. However, she may not make the beracha on on a mitzvah that she is exempt from doing. Tumtum ve'androginos hayavim bechulan misafek. Someone who we cannot determine his orientation because he has a layer of skin covering his organ, and then androginos is someone who is a hermaphrodite, are obligated in in all of the mitzvot that women are not obligated, as we are in doubt of their gender. And therefore they do not make a beracha when they do these mitzvot. However, they do the mitzvah, and they do whatever the women are prescribed to, whatever women are not prescribed to do. However, they do it again without a beracha. Halacha Yod Aleph. He'ach hiyuv mitzvat hatzitzit. How exactly is the precept of tzitzit fulfilled? Kol adam shu hayav la'asot mitzvah zo. Anyone who is obligated in doing the mitzvah, im yitkaseh bichsut hareuya latzitzit yatil lah tzitzit v'achar kach yitkaseh ba. If an individual who is obligated, again, wearing tzitzit, wears a garment that is required to have tzitzit on it, meaning a four-cornered garment, he must first put on the fringes of tzitzit and only then wear the garment. However, if he put the garment without putting tzitzit on it, he did not fulfill the mitzvot aseh. However, garments that are fit to have tzitzit on them, as long as no one's putting them on, rather they are folded and put aside, they are not obligated in tzitzit. As the obligation is not on the article of clothing itself, rather it is incumbent on the person who owns the talit and actually wears it. Halacha Yod Bet. אף על פי שאין אדם מחויב לקנות טלית ולהתעטף בה כדי שיעשה בה ציצית, just because an individual is not obligated to go out and buy a four-cornered garment and wear it in order for him to make the fringes and fulfill the mitzvah tzitzit, אין ראוי לאדם חסיד לפטור עצמו ממצוות זו. It is improper for a pious individual to exempt himself from this mitzvah. אלא, rather, לעולם ישתדל להיות עטוף בכסות המחויבת בסיסית. Rather, a pious individual should constantly be wrapped with a garment that is obligated in tzitzit, כדי שיקיים מצווה זו, in order for him to fulfill this mitzvah. בשעת התפילה צריך להיזהר ביותר, and during the prayer, an individual must be very careful to have tzitzit on him. גנאי גדול הוא לתלמיד חכמים שיתפלל והוא אינו עטוף. It is disgraceful for a student of the sages to pray while not being wrapped with tzitzit. הלכה י"ג. לעולם יהא אדם זהיר במצוות ציצית. An individual should be extremely careful with the mitzvah of tzitzit. שהרי הכתוב שכלח ותלה בה כל המצוות כולן, as the Torah weighed and valued it and compared it to all the other mitzvot. As the pasuk says, שנאמר, וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם. As when you see the tzitzit, you will be reminded of all of the mitzvot, and subsequently you will do all of the mitzvot. As we mentioned before, the tzitzit should trigger a certain process in one's mind and remind him of all the mitzvot and his responsibility of fulfilling them.